Hello and welcome to this screencast about xpstart program. I just want to explain in the next minutes how to install xpstart, what's the idea behind and how to use it. xpstart is a very small program or a small script, and so installation and also the usage is very simple, very basic, and I think it shouldn't be a problem for anyone to use it. Because also the most things are going totally automatically. So, but first installation is yeah, is also easy. You just have to download the file from the GitHub server. There you get the most recent release from xpstart. When you download it, inside your zip file you have a folder. Also the folder name is generated by GitHub, so you don't be confused about the name here. Inside the folder there are some project files from GitHub, so don't be confused about them. You don't need them. You just need here the folder xpstart and the xpstart Python file. These two things you have to copy inside your explain folder, and everything is installed and ready to go. So there's also another file, it's xpstart command. You don't need this, it's just to use xpstart without any GUI. So at the moment you don't need that. So just xpstart, Python, and also the xpstart folder. Just copy them inside your explain root folder where you explain.xar is. So you have here xpstart folder and the xpstart Python. You also see the Python icon here, and just double click on it and you have here the xpstart program or the GUI for it. So it's very simple. You have here top on the bottom you have a message box where the program gives you some information what it does. Left you have layers and sceneries. We will soon see what's inside there, and you just have one button. You just have always to click just this one button to go through the whole process here. So when you for the first time this could take a little time depending how much sceneries and how much files are inside your custom scenery folder. The second time and further time it will go very fast because it takes every information from a cache. So first run initializing all the sceneries. This is ready, then load sceneries, then the boxes here are filled with the values. When you click on the left on the layers, after the click the sceneries appears here on the right. The layers are explained on the documentation webpage, also the README file. This is another thing. We just want to order sceneries by what they are. So a scenery is not only a scenery. The easiest example is you have a library, for example, like the Open Scenery X. This is a library, so and library is not the same like, for example, an airport. For example, here Hamburg Aerosoft Airport. These are two different things, and also, for example, photo textures are not the same like airport. So the photo texture should be loaded before the scenery is loaded. So the layers gives a little bit one more dimension inside your custom scenery folder without moving anything there. It's just inside the program, and here you can move your sceneries. For example, you can move the Hamburg airport as a texture, and then after this the button changes and said okay, you have to reload the sceneries, that everything what's inside here just updates. It's because it's using a very simple GUI, and it's very simple programmed. So now we see that we just moved the Aerosoft Hamburg Airport inside texture, and then we will move it back into the custom scenery and say make reload sceneries, and it disappears on that layer and it appears at the custom layer again. So there you have the scenery name on this detail thing, so the scenery which you just clicked on, and then down there on the message box the program gives you information about the ICAO definitions inside the scenery. For example, open scenery don't has any ICAO, and if you go for example to the global airports, here's a lot of stuff is inside there, so you just have to scroll up to see what's inside here. Then you can also disable sceneries. For example, when I want to disable Frankfurt, I just have to click here, the small checkbox, and it will be disabled just inside your scenery packs.ini. So nothing happens to the real scenery. It will be just the ini file which will be updated, and it won't be loaded by Xplane anymore. So and that goes through the whole update process. For example, when you update Xplane, you will get, when you, for example, would remove the Aerosoft Frankfurt folder by hand, you remove it from your custom scenery folder, and you make an update, this folder will appear again, because the updater just updates the whole thing which is missing. So here, but not when you say, okay, I disable it. So it won't update or it will update Frankfurt, but it won't be appear inside Xplane anymore. So after that, you can say here write scenery packs.ini, and when everything is okay, it will say close me, everything is ready. But here we have warnings, and we can open a report. So and this report opens inside your default browser, because it's a little bit longer, or it could be longer, and there we have not unique airport definitions, just the links here, they go to apxp.info just to get more information about about that airport. And then I see that some airport definitions I've double. Yeah, so for example here I see here Stansted. I have one Stansted has a definition here in the custom folder, and also Stansted is inside the layout, inside the default layer, but it's also disabled. So when I just compare it here, I said, okay, London Stansted is here, and it is already disabled. That shows the report also, and yeah, that's it. So after using your xpstart, it will just order your scenerypacks.ini file, and it will also give you a little feedback about your sceneries, and especially when you have some definitions inside the global airports, inside the default airports. You will see that here, and then you can say, okay, maybe I need an exclusion, or I have just to check that also that these airports are in the right layer, and that these airports also have exclusion, that there won't be any visible problems. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you will have fun using xpstart. When you have questions, just put them on side the forum. Or I'll put it down next to the download page, and also if you have some ideas how to improve that program. Yeah, thank you for using it, and happy landings.